The very fact people can see the title of this specific video and still name a few things that are completely different to the problem this video is actually addressing should really tell you how much of a shambles the current state of the MCU is in. But I won't leave you guessing or wondering. I can summarize the issue in just a few seconds. Here's a clip from one of the latest Marvel products.
I no longer go by the name Astrid. I'm now known as Axel.
And here is a clip from Spider-Man 1, released in 2002, 22 years ago. On one hand, one looks amazing and actually realistic, and on the other hand, you have one that you could just tell is complete CGI, and it really does hurt the general audience's experience. Now, don't get me mistaken, I'm not saying CGI is really a bad thing, but the ridiculous and continuous overuse of CGI in every single Marvel production seems to be getting worse and worse with every single release. It's like they put less and less hours into actually planning their scenes, and more time just winging it and fixing all the problems in post, which leads to scenes looking like this, when we once used to get amazing scenes looking like this a whole 20 years ago. It's quite ironic that with all the technological advancements we see over the last decade, superhero movies specifically seem to consistently look worse than the previous installment every time. And it's extremely sad to see this because we know for a fact this is all Marvel's doing and not the actual CG artists, but they're the ones who's going to get the blame. But will Marvel ever get the picture and actually take time to produce a project instead of just trying to pump out as many movies and TV shows as possible, which by the way you have to watch every single one, otherwise you will not be caught up with everything in the current universe. My opinion is that it'll at least take another few years before we see any improvements on how movies are structured or how they're planned, which means we most likely won't see any CGI improvements for at least another 5 years, and that's if there's ever going to be any improvements. As Marvel have demonstrated time and time again, they really don't seem to care how good the CGI is. As long as it's decent, they're fine with it, which is the main issue in itself. I think Marvel need to take a big leap backwards when it comes to movies and completely cut off their TV shows, because in my opinion the TV shows are so fucking pointless. I've seen one, and that was Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I have not tuned in for a single other show. They all just look the fucking same bad CGI, the same bad writing. It's horrible. The average watcher is most likely not a fan of keeping up with 57 ugly looking TV shows, which just so happen to be written extremely poorly as well, like icing on a shit cake. Hopefully Marvel can learn from their past, but I heavily doubt that.